Kotahi is a New Zealand-based freight management partnership. We started about 2.5 years ago, and it's an organisation that's about bringing like-minded New Zealanders, importers and exporters together to develop solutions which will allow New Zealand to be truly competitive, I guess, in the global space. Culturally, we're an organisation that's very inclusive and very values-based. We started from a really good base of being able to involve our people in our values, so it's grown over the last 2.5 years to probably one of the most values-based organisations I've worked in. Probably the biggest organisational challenge for us is we're small. We're a large company by New Zealand standards in terms of turnover, but in terms of people, we're only 48, just under 50 people at the moment. So our biggest organisational challenge is retaining that talent, growing, developing, and keeping the IP that those people bring to our business. The biggest opportunity, and most of the reason that people come to work here, is that we're, to a certain extent, breaking new ground. So it's exciting, it's new, and allows people to be part of something that's really meaningful. As I touched on the values-based part of our business, developing our people, one of our core 5 values is being innovative and evolving. It's why we were set up, to do things differently. So developing our people, some people find innovation really easy, other people it's a bit of a stretch. So giving people the competency and the confidence to do things differently is really important, so a core part of developing our people. We worked on a program with Beyond that was going to cover 4 key streams of learning. The first being people, so people and team we called it, but that's predominantly around leadership, but also self-awareness and the ability to operate as an effective team rather than silos. The second was customer, which again was really important for us. Developing a true understanding of what great customer experience is like. And the third was innovation, as I've already touched on. Innovation is a core part to why we exist, so we had a core stream around that. And then the last stream was the pure technical stream, so giving people some of the actual knowledge and the hard skills they need to do their jobs. We're delivering it in a combination of ways. We're delivering some of it in-house through our internal experts, but Beyond have helped us to upskill those experts. So to start with, we identified those people who weren't naturally going to be trainers or facilitators, but who were going to be able to provide some content in what we're calling the Masterclass series. And so we're doing some in-house and we're doing some externally at the Beyond location, but it's a combined approach. We do a mixture of some shorter, I guess, interactive workshops in-house, and some of the workshops we run externally, we're never really taking people away from their desk from days at a time. We're doing pre-work, post-work, that kind of stuff. So it's very ongoing, connected and collaborative, I guess, is what I'd describe it as. We had to plan quite carefully when we ran training. So we plan that around our masterclasses, for example, are lunch and learn type sessions, and we've tried to make sure that we avoid the peak times in our business. We're quite seasonal. Export in New Zealand, it's primary produce, it's food, so there are certain times of the year when it's really busy. So we worked really closely with Beyond to program around our peaks so that people didn't feel that they were going to be under pressure from a workload. We have a lot of people run training in bites and then don't do anything. We've kept a program going that's had content that's connected, so people go on different workshops but there's a connection, and I think that's working quite well. So you're building on foundations and just getting more knowledge with each session that you do. As an HR manager, I obviously sit on the leadership team, and so my role is predominantly to influence the leadership table around why this is important, but also to work very closely with Beyond to define the content that's going to be most appropriate to our business, so that it's really targeted and focused on the Kotahi values and the Kotahi learning that we need. I've also got Christine, who is our learning and development consultant. She has a more active day-to-day involvement with ensuring that the right people are attending the right courses and the right workshops. She's worked with me in developing our competency framework and is now sitting down regularly with managers to ensure that the gaps that we've identified for individuals are being appropriately addressed. and that they're getting what they need from their sessions. So she follows up with managers afterwards to kind of prompt them about the importance of, here's what your person did, here's the conversation you can have at your next one-on-one to see what they got from that particular learning initiative. So it's very proactive. I think that you can involve a third party, and in my case, a business our side, it was really important that we could outsource what was a very key part of our HR offering, but you can't outsource it totally. You've got to stay connected. Otherwise it just becomes, you know, courses that people are going on, and managers don't really understand the content. I think the biggest impact that the program, that the Learning Pathways had, all of the streams have been good, but the customer stream has had a huge impact, and it's tangible. We have moved our customer engagement scores and our net promoter scores by huge margins in a short time, and some of that has to be attributed to the work that we've done in the customer stream. So we're really excited by that. You know, we've now got world-class customer engagement scores, so that's awesome, and we're really pleased with that. People are still really enthused by the program. They're still keen to take part. All of our workshops have been fully committed to. I don't think we've run anything that hasn't had a full complement of participants. The feedback that I get from both new entrants through the induction program and people who've exited is that they haven't experienced this kind of approach to learning before, and they feel quite privileged to be working in an organisation that actually genuinely gives its time and money and attention to their development. So it's great, and so it's affecting our engagement scores too. They're really happy. I think the key is to really focus on the big ticket items. You know, you can't do everything. We'd all like to, but there's just not enough time or money. So making sure that you're targeting the really big ticket items and the ones that are going to have the biggest impact on your business. So in our case, the innovation and the customer piece. The other piece is around looking after your talent, and that's the next phase of our journey with Beyond, is making sure that we target some of our development around our key talent, and making sure that they've got the opportunity to be part of something that's specific to them. So the business challenge that we're just about to launch is a real on-the-job, solve real business problems with the help of mentors and people who are going to actually be able to impact that learning, as well as internal sponsorship from the leadership team.